Hey guys, we're back, and I'm a little late. For you guys, you won't notice that, but poor Tim here, he's been waiting for like half an hour for me. I've been playing Avowed and Monster Hunter, so I wasn't paying any attention as my phone was like beep beep beep.
Well, your defense, I was late too. You were ready to go, and I was busy, so it's a busy Saturday. But anyways, yeah, we have a lot of stuff to cover, some interesting stuff. Jared's been playing. Unfortunately, this week I've been real busy, and next week it's going to be even worse because my puppy finally is going to get his full immunity or potential to rabies. So he's going to start going to places every night, walks every night. See, I don't really have much time to play. I haven't touched Monster Hunter since.
Yeah, dude,
I think 11th. So,
I have to tell the world
man,
this.
It's
I
hard.
gotta tell the
Where
world
you
this.
find the time? Well, you don't have a young puppy to deal with.
It doesn't matter. This guy, so ladies and gentlemen, this guy was hyping up Monster Hunter like every day.
I love it.
He was
it's
posting
just
these things like
finding
5 days, 4 days, 3 days.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
You played like 20 minutes. Like, it's crazy.
Well, it's 10 hours. So far. But
Are you?
Yeah,
Are you seriously? Are you at 10 hours now?
yeah, 10 hours.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. I've done a little bit. I'm at with second chapter, the Everforge area. I hope to get to some time to play some today and tomorrow. But anyways, besides the point, no matter what, it's still a good game.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying it. It is definitely more story. I think we've said story heavy than the previous couple titles, but I don't mind that. Anyways, it's not a Monster Hunter stream. So, anyways, that's what we've been playing. Jared's been playing that and all that stuff. So, I guess we're going to talk about a little bit about hardware and then some Switch 2 rumors. Oh, always rumors, but these rumors tend to come out true. So I want Jared's take.
Sure.
First things first is it's actually official, I guess. Microsoft is going to be making an Xbox handheld. So we don't have any details about it, release date. But they also said the next gen Xbox is going to be released in about 2 years, 2027. That's all they said. So yeah, it's this rumor that's been floating around for an Xbox handheld or Microsoft entering the handheld market ends up being true. So what are your takes? I know we talked about it a bit, but now that it's pretty much official, you think it's a good move by Microsoft? I mean, the Steam Deck's done respectfully so, but obviously it's no Switch. It doesn't even remotely come close.
I actually, dude, I wanted to talk a little bit about that because there's been some... there's been a lot of people that are like comparing Steam Deck to other devices. Like I forget what it was, but like an article came out and it was like basically all of these handheld PCs have sold like 6 million or something like that, which, like the Vita like sold 10 times that and was considered a failure. So people are like, I don't understand. So let me just put a few things in perspective here, specifically with the Steam Deck. I might sound like a fanboy because I really do love that device, sincerely. Like I adore it. But guys, you cannot buy it on Amazon. You can't buy it on like at Best Buy. You can only buy it from Valve directly. And I need people to like understand that this just that alone, if you don't factor in price, if you don't factor in any of these other things, the very fact that you cannot walk into a store and buy one means you're not a mass market device. Like that's just what it is. So when people are like, oh my god, it's a huge failure and this and that, everything else, and then I don't know if you saw, we should have actually talked about that, but Valve released a Steam in review type of thing, and it's unbelievable. Like the amount of play hours on the Steam Deck from a year ago to today is like doubled, and it's unbelievable. And if you factor in everything that I said, like I honestly think this is the single most successful product Valve has ever released. And I genuinely do not think anyone is giving enough credit to this to see what, like, guys, we're going to have this podcast in like 5 years from now. And well, God willing, like everything is okay. And I swear I'm going to be like, I told you so. Because what people are not realizing is this is a preparation product to disrupt an industry that people aren't realizing is coming. The PC market, we've talked about this before, is exploding. It's getting bigger and bigger. Not the dedicated, well, at least I can't see dedicated desktops selling. That doesn't make any sense to me. If it is, awesome. I just don't quite understand. Like, to me, I think it's all laptops and stuff like that people are gaming on and stuff like that. But guys,
you'd be surprised how many people are gaming on a laptop, and I laugh at them because a laptop's never going to be as good as a dedicated gaming desktop, but they're good enough. So
like guys, like something has to give, and this is the thing. Like I don't have the exact thing, and I don't want to type right now so you guys hear this, but like over 40 million concurrent players. It just happened on Steam. Like, do you guys have any idea? That must mean that there's like maybe 200 million people playing on Steam. Like, to get 40 million players to be playing on Steam at the exact same time, do you realize how many people must actually be playing? Like, it's got to be hundreds of millions of people.
Oh yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, I wish we'd learn that info for like Switch, because Switch has a shit ton of users. How many concurrent for PlayStation to Xbox? I wish we would know that.
Well,
too,
there's no chance. There is no chance that it can be that high, because you have to think worldwide players. Like it that's insane. How many? Anyway, I want to just finish this whole thing. So I don't think people really understand. Like, the reason that Steam used Linux as a base is because they knew that if they ever got really big, which they are, and Microsoft got into this industry and started to play around, because you gotta remember, guys, Microsoft runs Windows, right? And if they ever wanted to do their own storefront, I know they have Xbox, but let's be honest, like, if they ever really wanted, they have ways that they could make Steam dead, you know, because the core platform that it runs on, there's ways as a business practice that, you know, like, let's
yeah, and that's an interesting thing you bring up, because there's a lot of factors. I mean, people are hesitant to change, so you always hear the thing about like, oh, they'll never beat Steam. But, you know, at one point, Steam was considered a joke and no one trusted them, right? But how times have changed. No, there's no industry. You know, that's a problem with a lot of these companies in the past, that they become arrogant. I'm not saying Steam is, but they can become too arrogant and hubris in their ways. The next thing you know, oh wow, what happened to them? Well, they didn't adapt. I'm not saying that was Steam. That's not
but I think Steam is I think Valve is adapting by
and that's what's exactly
by doing what they did with Linux. People they really don't understand this, but guys, this was a very thinking move, because what they're doing is they're protecting themselves so they don't need Windows. If anything were to ever happen and they couldn't use Windows, guys, if you haven't played on a Steam Deck, you haven't experienced their Proton layer. It is unbelievable, guys. Like, it's unbelievable. No lag, no input lag, no load. Like it's unbelievable how smooth it is. And I'm telling you now that they will release a consoleized version of the Steam Deck. It is going to happen. And
interesting. Maybe the console wars will start over again, because their console wars are over now. We all talked about console wars.
I think, like, imagine you got 40 million concurrent players on PC. Could you imagine if you were able to successfully translate that over to the television plus a portable? All your saves are syncing all around. It plays nice with every other platform. I'm telling you guys, this is what Microsoft is after. Microsoft is not after the Switch 2. Microsoft is after this model. And I'm sure, because the rumors are saying that it's actually going to be a consoleized PC based after the Rogue Ally, which is it's a more powerful Steam Deck, basically. And I know why they're doing this is because they see what Valve is doing. Valve is very quietly trying to take over the entire gaming industry. They're not stupid at all. And if they're ever
they're
able,
doing excellent. Yeah.
if they're ever, and it's the last thing I think, sorry, man. If they're ever able to release a product at a mass market sort of, like price tier, guys, that would be very, very enticing. Even for people like me that I love my consoles, like that would be enticing, man. Because you guys got to realize there are tens of thousands of games that are on Steam that would be available day one. Not only do you get,
I told you, Steam Deck's the world's first handheld that literally had thousands upon thousands of games at launch. No other handhelds ever come close to that, never will. And that's thinking of which, another thing too is consoles. The only thing about Valve, they do develop some games, but not really much anymore. I mean, they've done some big hits, and they just they don't seem interested. That's the only thing. If they go console, it'd be like the Steam Deck, where it's like, well, where's your exclusive games? Why would I buy that?
Well, I'll tell you why you buy that.
Has this and that.
No, but dude.
That.
If they follow the Steam Deck model, like first off, guys, here's my prediction. Okay, my prediction is no mass market product, at least for the next, let's say, like 3 to 5 years. No way. They'll release a consoleized PC. What do I mean by that? It'll literally be a Steam Deck that will be stronger. It'll be a PC, but it'll be a Linux machine with a Proton emulator, right? And then that's it. And so it'll ship with a controller. You'll get the box, which is basically a PC, but because it runs on Linux, you don't need all that other crap because Linux is not bloated, right?
No, it's not.
It'll ship in whatever Steam big box mode or whatever the hell it's called, big picture mode or whatever. But just like the Steam Deck, you'll be able to go into a desktop mode for Tim and I. But for Steven, you'll just be able to play the consoleized version, and away you go. Now, why would you do it? I'll tell you why you would do it. All the mods are there. These are PC versions of these games. So keyboard, mouse is totally, like everything.
If you want it, yeah.
Exactly. That's why. I would do it. Are you kidding? I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, then Steven would have access to a lot more games, a lot more indie games, a lot more third party kind of support, because consoles are great and all, but there's tons of stuff on Steam that's not available on consoles. A lot of retro games and stuff like that.
You're right, but Steven wouldn't do it because it would be way too expensive. Like, remember what I'm saying? Yeah, what I'm saying.
The games?
No, the platform.
Oh,
because remember what I'm saying. It's not gonna. You can't walk into Walmart and buy one of these things. It's gonna be my prediction is that it's gonna be exactly like the Steam Deck. It's gonna start at like $1,000 or more.
Oh.
And no, because I think they're gonna test the waters where. Like, guys, you got to think of this. If you don't go the Amazon route, if you don't go the Best Buy route, if you don't go the Walmart route, you don't really have to worry about shipping any of this stuff to all these distributors and building billions of them. But if they test the waters of these things and see how it's doing, more and more, I think you're going to see them coming into this space. The only time it's ever going to get serious is if they do a mass market, product where you can walk into Walmart. But I don't see that anytime soon. I think they're going to wait for the console market to die, and then they'll start.
I mean, I know people say no, but analysts are saying this, and it's true. A console market, it's so strong right now, guys. Make no mistake. We're not saying it's dead, but it's definitely going to shrink. The newer young generation of kids grow up on their mobile device. To them, that's their console. Things are changing. So console market, and this is why I think Nintendo. Well, they obviously will never make a true console again. But we'll talk about the Switch 2 in a second. But and I think you're right. Microsoft knows this. So at the end of the day, the whole rumors of Microsoft leaving the hardware is completely, utterly false. We knew that.
No, yeah.
And the fact that they're going handheld is interesting, and we know it's going to be pretty substantially powerful, definitely more powerful than any current handheld in the market that's coming out for the foreseeable future, you know they'll challenge the Steam Deck, and the Steam Deck's already kind of old as well.
Yeah.
And let's admit, Switch 2 will be out of date the day it releases. I think it's going to be like PlayStation 4 Pro level, which for a handheld, that's good. Make no mistake, that's good. You know,
yeah, but like the rumors right now is like the latest version of the Rogue Ally will be more powerful than the Switch 2, and that's, again, guys, like, you just got to be very careful when you talk about all these things, because Nintendo it's not that market, right? Like, they're not going,
no, they're not. It's different.
Like,
and they don't. Yeah, they're doing good with what they do, and they have a lot. For once, they actually have a very good start, or a foreseeable start for their next console.
Oh yeah,
as you look through history,
man,
they have a major hit, failure, in terms of hardware sales. Look at Wii U, look at the GameCube, etc., etc. But anyways,
yeah, but no, I honestly think that this could be the most successful console launch in history. Like, I tell you, man, the hype is real with this thing.
Oh no, it is. And analysts are just freaking, giving Nintendo a nice back rub. But before we move on to Nintendo and its new rumors about, we're not going to talk about the hardware, but other stuff. Microsoft's system, though, would you be interested in getting it, the handheld?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like,
yeah, but even me, I would kind of interest. I don't know if I would, because I don't.
Well, look, if it's
time, but I have Game Pass, dude. Think about that.
Well, the rumors are of what I've been saying forever, of that it'll be like a Steam Deck, but it'll be a Windows-based machine. If it's a Windows-based machine and you can log out of the gaming mode and go into the PC mode, it's a computer, guys. That means you could install Epic Game Store, you could install Steam, you could do whatever the hell you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they do that,
Microsoft tends to like control, right? They don't like competitors.
Well, that's
we'll see.
But did you see the rumors? Because the rumors are that it's literally just a Rogue Ally.
I hope so. And Microsoft, you have to remember too, they've changed. They haven't been so quote unquote. Well, they're still greedy, but they haven't been greedy or as controlling as they used to be. They're a lot more flexible now, and I think that. I think they just realize they can't be like that anymore. They're not, so they want, like you said, they want to be on everything. They don't care if it's a PlayStation. They don't care if it's PC, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, it's definitely something very exciting. It'll definitely be a very powerful system. We do know, though, it'll be probably around Steam Deck cost, $600, $700, $800. I'm pretty sure they'll have various hardware. But let us know in the comments if you guys are interested in that. But, definitely in 2 years, another Xbox is coming, too. So, Microsoft... They got deep pockets. They can take a loss, which is amazing, because you remember what they said, the Xbox One lost or the very first Xbox, whatever it was, I forgot its name, lost so much money. If it was at Nintendo, Sega, or any other company, they would have probably bellied up. But anyways, so we're excited. We'll definitely be covering more Xbox hardware news and software news going forward. But Switch 2, there's spec rumors and stuff like that. We're not too concerned about that. Of course, we'll cover it once we get next month, by the way, like 17 days away, guys. We'll definitely be having a podcast or two dedicated to the Switch news. Cannot wait. But Switch 2 rumors is the cost will be anywhere from $450 USD to $500.
I'm hoping for $449. I'm hoping for that.
I'm hoping. I think $500 is a bit steep, dude. Do you think? Or do you think that's gonna?
Honestly, it's really, really hard to tell right now, because Nintendo, like I said, the hype is real, man. Like the hype is real.
Oh yeah, the launch will sell no matter what. But I'm talking about long term.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping $450.
You could get.
I'm hoping $450 myself.
Yeah, me too. I'm hoping $450.
But
if that, I think that's worth the max that they'll go.
Yeah, because I mean,
is outdated
what is the Steam Deck? What
hardware.
is the OG here? Wait a sec. The Steam.
Yeah, let's look that up.
Yeah, Steam Deck. What the hell is the? Here, let's see. We got Steam Deck. What is the OG? Obviously I'm in Canadian here, guys. So, let's see. Yeah, so it's $4.99 Canadian. What the hell would that be? What is it? $3.99? Is it?
Yeah. Here, let me look here.
Steam.
Is that how much it cost at first?
No, like probably not. How much is it?
Oh, okay. According to this, well, $490 USD, $490 for the 256 gig.
What? The 256 LCD is $490 US?
Oh, here we go. The Steam Deck is available in three sizes. So the 64 gig version is $399. The 256 version is $529.
No.
And
Well,
then the
dude.
512.
Here, go on Discord. Something doesn't make any sense. Go on Discord. Go to this exact link I just linked you. You should see three versions. It should say 256 LCD, 512 OLED, and 1 terabyte OLED.
And let's see. I think I'm on the Steam Deck. Yeah, I'm on Steam Store, so it should. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking at, and it's $399, $549, and $649. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Okay. So the lowest one is $399.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's $100 difference here. So $399, and that's really like it's not like 100% obsolete, but I mean that's really old now. That's like the OG sort of model type thing. So if it's $399, and if Nintendo can mass produce these at $450, that's a really good deal because it'll be significantly more powerful than the Steam Deck.
exactly. Wow. And another thing too, it has Wi-Fi 5, and rumor has it, and I'm pretty sure it's going to have it. It's Switch 2 is going to have Wi-Fi 6. That's good.
Yeah,
So
well, the
better,
new one, the
better.
new Steam Deck does. But what was the 512 one?
Oh, here, let me see. It's OLED too, by the way. The
Yeah.
first one's LCD. Oh, that's a disappointing thing that this Nintendo's not going to ship with OLED.
Oh no, they'll never do
Yeah.
that because it's they'll get you with the
They'll get it. Oh yeah, you're right. It has Wi-Fi 6E.
Yeah, but how much was that one? How much is that model?
$549.
Yeah, so you see, guys, so 540, so 550, so 550. If Nintendo can come in at 450, that's really going to be a really good deal. But we'll find out in like less than a month. Like it's
Dude, I cannot wait. And not only that, guys, like I said, the fact that we're going to finally get game info and official info on Mario Kart 9, so it's going to be good stuff. All right, so I think we covered enough for the hardware section of Microsoft. Really looking interesting to see what they're. I think they said that's going to be out this year too, so it's not going to probably later this fall. Who knows? Summer. So we'll definitely be getting specs on the handheld in the near future.
Yeah.
But before we go to other news, there is a indie game that came out, Beyond the Ice Palace 2, which is kind of like it's an old sequel to a Commodore 64 classic. So that's when Jared and I were like young pups 35 years ago. So so it's a sequel to that, guys. So it took a long time for them to come out. Look up on it on Steam. It's only like $7.99 USD. It's an indie game. It's a sequel to a classic, and it looks good. So it's like a Castlevania Metroid type game, way before Metrovanias were a thing. So just a little shout out there. Also, Steam since we're talking about Steam, has their spring sale until the 20th, 5 more days. Huge amount of games are on sale right now. Definitely check that out. And
did you pick anything else up?
No, but you mean to buy?
Yeah, did you pick anything up on the Steam sale? I just picked up RoboCop for $5.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was going to ask you about that. I am going to get Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege Deluxe Edition for $5.99. That's how I just play with some friends. It's not something I'll dedicate a lot of time for, but literally a cup of coffee. It's on an 80% discount.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what RoboCop was, and I wanted to try that. I know the sequel is coming out, I think this year or something.
Yeah. But it looks fun to me, man. It looks like
I don't think I'm going to be able to run that on the deck. I doubt it very much. But just because like even though it's a few years old, that's still a PS5, Xbox Series X game, right? So I'm not sure. But anyway, whatever. I'll let you know. I'm gonna check it out. But it's a 60 gig download. Like, good lord.
I know, man. It's pretty big. But anyways, there's great sales.
Yeah.
Stuff like that where it's 80 to 90% off. You get it for a couple bucks. And these games are no joke. Like that Rainbow Six is it's a little older now, but it's a top tier type game when it was released. Anyways, we're going to talk about interesting kind of negative news in the sense that some gaming companies are not doing so great. So we're going to start off with Dragon Age. The latest Dragon Age fails to take off even on PS Plus.
Yeah.
I love the Dragon Age series. I don't know what do you think about that?
I think
Jared, why do you think?
I haven't played it, but I know that a lot of stuff has become very political. the whole
Yes,
the whole
yes,
woke thing
yes, yes. They
now.
need to.
And I think honestly, like, again, I have not played it, so I don't want
Yeah, we
to.
can't comment
No, I
either.
can't
But
comment on the quality of the game, but all I can comment on is everything that you've seen in the media. You've seen huge backlash on Reddit of fans being like, "Oh, it's so woke, it's so woke, it's so woke," and being free on PlayStation Plus, and it didn't even
and
move the needle, man. So to me, that pretty much is the end of Dragon Age.
um, but dude, I've just added to my play later list on Game Pass. Jared, it is part of Game Pass. So one day, whenever you get some free time, check it out. I will be checking it out as well because I love Dragon Age and the fact that I don't have to buy it. It's it's awesome. But yeah, it's just interesting because BioWare is is an interesting spot. They used to be pretty premier when it came to their games. They were like kind of not quite a Blizzard level, but you knew when BioWare made a game, it was a hit. It was great, well done. And it's just, people say when the big company like Electronic Arts and et cetera buys out, these companies lose their identity. I mean, look at Rareware with Microsoft. It has Sea of Thieves, which still does extremely well. Make no mistake, but they haven't really done anything since. Or
Yeah, well,
it's just weird.
Yeah, well, a lot of the things, man, like with Rare, right? Like the minute the Stamper brothers left, it wasn't Rare anymore.
Just like Blizzard when their founders left.
Well, that's the
it's
thing.
Just not the same.
It's and that's the thing, guys. Like you need to understand that. Like it's not just the founders, but the reality is that the founders don't ever just leave. There's always other people that leave with them, and
oh yeah, the talent.
The minute
vision.
That's gone, it's kind of over. Like it's like that's it.
No, you're right, and so maybe that's what's happened with BioWare. Now
I don't know.
Yeah. I will play this game, get some sampling of to see, but yeah, it's kind of sad because I think BioWare and the Dragon Age series used to be a pretty good series for them, and unfortunately this last one has flopped, which again we talked about before we recorded how AAA gaming, man, it's a high risk these days, and if you have a flop or two, it could just devastate your studio,
dude.
Which comes into our next
before
topic.
You move on though, I just want to say, like, my last comment on this is, like, if the new Mass Effect doesn't do well, BioWare will be closed. Close the whole studio.
100%. But let's hope it does, because Mass Effect is a very, very good series. I mean, I don't know if you enjoyed it, but
I did.
It was,
I loved it.
So I hope that it does well, but they need to rethink in this. I like how I don't like how people use woke just like a candy these days, but gaming needs to be careful about that, because I mean, I don't mind diversity. Obviously, it's great. But when you shove it down people's throats,
like I said, if it
right?
becomes political, it's over.
Exactly,
the game is over.
And
You're finished.
They need to focus. Gaming's all about having fun at the core. At the end of the day, have fun and enjoy your time. That's all.
Exactly.
It's a stress reliever for a lot of people. A lot of working adults like us come home. We play for a couple hours if we have the time, and that's it. We don't want to worry about, oh my God, look at this political thing.
Exactly.
But yeah, I agree with you 100%. And if Mass Effect is gone,
it's over.
Flop, then it's over for BioWare. But on the same topic, it looks like Ubisoft has been having some, as you guys have been following them for a while, has been having a lot of trouble. And it looks like Microsoft, EA, and others are interested in acquiring Ubisoft's franchises. So, which they do have a lot of great ones, by the way. It'd be interesting if Microsoft, I don't know if the courts would allow that, because they've been kind of aggressive with buying. But now when they say acquiring franchises, so that means they're not interested in the company. They want just the franchise. So they'll probably be okay with Microsoft buying, let's say, like the Rabbids or Assassin's Creed. So it doesn't sound like anyone's interested in the company.
Well, because why would you be? It's not doing well, right?
Like, exactly, yeah. But
and it's kind of sad though, dude, because those are my neighbors.
No, it is.
Like
they're up in Montreal.
Yeah, right, man. Yeah. Like we have the huge building there, and it's got all these banners and stuff.
Damn Canadians.
And like, it's just it's unfortunate. What really needs to happen, in my opinion, is, again, You got to let the ego go. The CEO has been the CEO forever, and it's
Yep.
like, dude, no one will ever take away your legacy. Like, you're the guy that put Ubisoft on the map, but it's time to go.
It's
Like,
time to go.
you know.
Yep, I agree.
So we'll see what happens with
So
that. Well, but I mean, I hear a lot of stuff because like just me going to my barber. The window is facing Ubisoft's headquarters,
that's so cool. You see them,
and
man. That's so cool.
like all the guys that go to my barber, they're all Ubisoft employees, and you hear them, right? Like they're talking and they're like, man, I'm gonna be out of job, like if this new Assassin's Creed does not perform well, oof.
Oh, it's devastating for them. Devastating for them. I think though Assassin's Creed tends to be pretty
Didn't it did it
pretty
did it release yet?
no, I don't think it has, right? And this is the one that has that not African American, but a black samurai. So that's kind of been causing some hype and talk. So that's kind of good.
It's next week.
Now,
It comes out on the
yeah,
20th.
yeah. So we'll definitely talk about it. Hopefully, we'll have some sales info for you guys next podcast, but we can't guarantee.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely know if it does good on Steam charts. So at least we'll get an
true.
indication.
Yeah, that's actually very true, and we'll see.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Ubisoft. They make one of the underrated Mario Switch games is the Mario and Rabbids combo. Those games were actually good, guys. So yeah, it's kind of sad to see Ubisoft. And Ubisoft's kind of getting. A lot of people don't like the fact that their business practices. I mean, it is what it is. But I really hope that they can, weather the storm, stuff like that. But it's not looking good for them. But it looks like they're not going to be bought out. They'll just sell off their franchise either to stay afloat or maybe make some partnerships. But now you're right. I think leadership needs some fresh blood.
Yep.
And maybe that'll help them going forward. But good luck, Ubisoft. And hopefully we'll still see some of your great games in the future. All right. So there was a big patch for Valve, which Jared's playing. They've done it's patch 1.3.0,
Yes,
which features more skill points, controller remapping, which a lot of games need to do, and not everyone, hub customizations, camera and compass options, and much, much more. So how are you thinking of Valve? How have you been enjoying it, man?
Yeah, so
end,
like
said,
like
right?
I think I told you guys, like it was a little like a little generic in the beginning, but I'm the type of gamer, like Steven used to always make fun of me with this, where like I like to give games a chance, you know what I mean? Like if they don't hook me right away, I'll still play, and like just really give a game a chance. Sometimes to a fault, right? Like the game I should have ignored it like ages ago. But it's Skyrim Light is the best way of sort of like explaining it. But yeah, this new patch was a pleasant surprise because I had no idea. I saw you post it on Discord, but I had already downloaded and played the game and didn't realize it. I was like, that's weird. Why do I have 3 new skill points to allocate? I was like, what the hell? So that was a pleasant surprise. A lot of bug fixes came out, which good, because in a game like that, there is nothing worse than not being able to progress and get locked out of the game where you have to go back to your previous save. I hate that.
Oh, yeah.
Because because I don't always think to save my game before the start of a quest. Like I'm not thinking of that. And then you get screwed and you get like soft locked out of the game and you can't progress and whatever. But no, I mean, it's really good. I find it's a good introductory game to a Skyrim because it's not as complicated. It doesn't have as many overlaying systems. So your sort of skill tree and stuff, there's only like 5 different sort of things that you can pick, like a ranger if you want to be like a magic user or like a fighter or whatever. Whereas if you remember with Elder Scrolls, you got pages and pages and pages of different things that you can sort of like tweak and whatever. So I think if you're like looking for like a Skyrim, like, this big, like open world ish, RPG, definitely something to check out. The map though is very interesting to me. So I don't know how this game sold. What I can see is like last night I made it to the fourth area of the game and I unlocked another achievement for it. And I always do this. This is maybe it's stupid of me, but it's something that I've always done. I always check the percentages of the players that have unlocked, certain achievements. I'm not looking at the rare, like hard achievements to get or trophies to get. I like to look at the story progression ones, because Steven said this. He used to talk a lot about this in like podcasts where like gamers don't actually play games. Like they'll get the game, they'll play like the first little bit, and then it's like they either move on to another game, or like it's very rare for people to actually play through an entire game. Doesn't matter if it's multiplayer, doesn't matter if it's single player. It's like, it's weird. And sure enough, like only 15% of all the players have made it to the fourth area, which is the final. Well, I think it's the final area of the game. But I would love to know how this game sold or performed.
Microsoft did comment about that, and they said they're happy with sales so far.
Okay,
but they didn't say much else. They said they're happy, so that means obviously they're happy, but they didn't say it was a smashing success
okay, because I'm curious of where they go with Avowed, because the map, it's this massive map. Like you can see like blizzard areas, fire areas, like all this sort of stuff. And then you've got like a tiny little circle. So imagine behind me is the map, and it's like, okay, where is it? That little circle, that's the first area. And then it's like let's do, that's the second area, and so on and so forth. But look at the size of the map. Yeah. So I'm
maybe there's going to be an expansion.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm wondering.
I hope so, because like I said, they said they're happy.
Okay.
So that means they're not disappointed. You have to also remember that there's a lot of Game Pass users. So I would love them to release, because like other companies do that. I would love them to release or have some indication how many people have downloaded. Microsoft doesn't tout that very much.
Well, dude,
right?
I know it's like Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So how did it actually perform? Because like Microsoft,
exactly.
It's great. It's wonderful.
It's like even if they have a huge hit, they don't seem. I don't know. Maybe it's not their style. Look at Marvel Rivals instance. How much they're touting. How many they have 40+ million players at a couple months or so ago. Or concurrent players. Who knows how much it is now? It's been a massive success. They're promoting it. I just don't understand Microsoft, man. You'd think that they would, and maybe it's because they're such a huge corporation, they just don't care.
But that makes no sense, because if you publicly disclose that, hey, this game's doing great, other gamers,
for your investors too, right?
Yeah, but other gamers,
they're doing great,
dude. Other gamers are going to be like, oh wow, so that really okay, I want to check that out. Like, what is that
exactly?
Because like I told you, like, again, only from achievements. I can't say anything else. It looked like Indy was a colossal failure. Like, it was like 4% of the players had got to the second chapter of the game. That's nothing. But again, that was a long time ago. I have no idea.
Who knows what it is now?
Yeah.
It's hard. Maybe you're right. Maybe like Steven says, and I can understand why, a couple of reasons for that, because there's some people that are playing certain games, especially if you're like, with any Fortnite, you're a hardcore Fortnite player, you've put 1,000 hours and you're like, oh, here, I want to buy this other game. But then, Fortnite keeps you busy, right? So you end up putting in your backlog grows, but they bought it, and that's all the companies care about.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah,
exactly.
I could see what's, I don't know if Steven meant it per se like that, but I can understand why people just don't have the extra time.
Well, dude, like you played indie, right? But now indie.
Yeah, I need to get back into that. Dude.
Yeah, and you're never going to get back into it. How? When? You've got Monster Hunter, you've got all your other games.
Oh, yeah, and I keep telling you, man, like these live service games, I mean, I enjoy them. I know a lot of people don't. Most people do. select few like to be vocal about it. But man, they have events all the time to keep you engaged in the game, and you don't want to miss out on it, right?
Well,
And
that's
you get
it.
rewarded for playing, and it takes up time. And I don't have a lot of extra time like I used to, so So anyways, besides the point, that's good. Um, we'll see. Hopefully, the Valve's done decent. Next up, thinking about doing decent, Sega has some announcements. You could talk about that because I think you played um, Meta, if I remember right, correct?
Oh,
And
yeah. Hold on. Always
didn't you
forget
say
the
it was one of your?
name of it. Was
Yeah, it's right there in Discord.
Metaphor
Yeah,
Fantasio.
you played that. You said it was really
That
good,
was my
right?
number 2 game of the bloody
Here,
last year. Like, that was
yeah,
phenomenal. That's a really
so,
good game if you
perfect.
enjoy Persona meets Game of Thrones. Like,
Oh
no, it was
man,
just it was unique. It
oh
was
perfect.
and but what was the actual news? Like,
Oh
it
well,
exceeded their expectation.
Sega announces that the sales of Meta and Sonic Shadow Generations are performing better than expected. Now,
Okay.
that's good, right? But who knows? Maybe they thought we were going to sell 10,000 copies each, and it sold
Yeah, yeah,
20.
yeah.
So we don't know, like the true, like any. Let me see if it gives you details.
Well,
No, it
I
doesn't.
doubt you're gonna get numbers.
But it's still Sega seems to be making a little bit of a push toward. For a while Sega was publishing whatever, but now Sega's starting to ramp up, and that's good to see. And yeah, better than expected, and that's really good, especially with a more niche title
Well,
of
Metaphor Fantasio there, that's good. That's really good because that's a risk, right? That was a
yeah,
risk
what yeah.
for the developers to leave the Persona series that's been doing really, really well, but that was a risk for them to take. So I'm happy. I want companies to take
100%,
risks.
100%, and yeah, Sonic X. Well, Sonic's always. It's interesting. Some Sonics do good, some Sonics don't do bad. But I'm glad, which hopefully will build up to hype. I told you about Sonic Rumble and the Sonic Racing game that's coming up in the near future. So I can't wait for those personally. And one of them's going to be free to play. The Sonic Racing, I always enjoyed that series, even though I haven't played it for a while because I stopped getting consoles and Sega's Sega. But yeah, so it looks like Sega has a good little first seeable future, getting rebounding, getting a lot of great stuff out on their consoles. And we talked about it that the Skies of Arcadia was patent or whatever they did
Yeah,
just
the
recently. So
trademark.
I don't know
Yeah,
what that
yeah.
means. Are they going to do a remaster or what? I would love to see that. But we'll see what maybe Skies of Arcadia. I know the creator's gone, but I mean I think he's dead actually, not gone. I mean since he left Sega. But that means nothing. They could develop the series without them. And yeah, so I'm glad to hear that for Sega, and so good stuff. And then, like I said, thinking back to what we're talking about leadership with Ubisoft, it's gonna interesting. People were posting on Twitter and Reddit too that the core Nintendo has been that classic leadership for a substantial amount of time, right? For the last 35, 40 years. And obviously they're older now. They're gonna, even if they don't want to retire, they're going to die. And they're probably not gonna be around maybe the next 10, 15 years. What's gonna happen with Nintendo, man, when you get those guys out of the picture? And I mean,
Yeah, but I think
they don't make the games like
yeah,
they used to, but they
exactly.
still direct and stuff
Yeah,
like
and
that.
I think realistically, I think fans put a lot
More than
more.
what
Yeah,
exactly.
because like realistically, like you're Takashi Tezuka, Miyamoto, and all those guys. Yes, of course they're still involved, but guys, it's fundamentally different. Like
Yes.
they're not in the basement, coding and like guys. And I think you've kind of seen that, right? Like we had a really smooth transition with Zelda,
We
where
have. Yep.
now I always forget how he pronounced his name. Ayuma, or I forget how it is. Like the guy who's currently like in charge of Zelda, like he's been in charge of Zelda longer than Miyamoto was. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
And he's done
Like,
a great job
yeah,
recently.
he's done
Think
a he's
about it.
done
Yeah.
a really good job, and I guarantee you, succession planning. That's one thing the Japanese are very good at. We kind of suck at that in North America,
Oh, yeah, 100% we do.
but
100% we do.
they're very good at that. And I mean, Like I'm like legitimately I am not worried. That will be a very sad day for gaming just
Yes,
because, you know,
such icons.
like
Yes,
yeah, and it's all of them. Yu Suzuki, Will Wright, John Carmack, like
yeah,
all of these guys are getting older now, right? Like it's inevitable in the next 20, 30 years. Like
that they'll be
it's
gone. Yes.
yeah, and like a lot of them are gonna retire and stuff. And rightfully so, you know, like they
Oh yeah,
deserve,
yeah. I can't live
you
forever, and
know,
they want to enjoy the rest of what
yeah.
life they have. You can't be working all the time.
No, exactly. And it's like, you know, I legitimately hope that someone like Miyamoto doesn't have to come into the office every bloody day and stuff. Like I really do hope
I don't
he
think he.
deserves to enjoy his golden years here. Like
Oh
this
yes, he
is kind
does.
of ridiculous. Like, you
And
know,
yeah, man, I better think about what he's done for the gaming industry and some of the other
yeah.
icons that you've listed there. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, well that's
I mean,
it.
think about it. Nintendo wouldn't be where they are today without these guys, right?
Well, I mean, the
Think about
whole
it.
bloody industry without the Famicom and stuff would be fundamental. Like, I don't know. I don't know if Sega would have been able to do any of this on their own. You know, like back in the day, like people like. I mean, it is what it is. The history is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm not looking forward to that. I think that'll be a very sad day when, like, for gaming when you know that inevitably happens. But I think guys like right now, like my series behind me, it's unbelievable. Two of the three are gone, and it's like wow, man. And speaking of that, by the way, I don't know if you saw that. I didn't see you post anything about it, but like Chrono Trigger's what was it,
I should have.
35th
Yeah.
birthday or something, 30 or
Yeah.
35, I forget what it was.
Oh, I did
um
put it under the retro. I don't think you checked the
oh, okay,
retro
okay, okay,
area.
okay.
Yeah.
um and I was just like, wow, do I feel old, like wow. And it was very interesting because Square actually said that like that's not a dead series. They're like
That's good.
there's stuff there, you know, and they were talking about like multimedia and things like that. Like that was a really excellent concept. And it's like, yes, you know, Toriyama is passed, which was really sad and shocking, but like, you know, guys, like you could still do stuff in that universe, you know. And I don't know why we got Chrono Cross and then it just beep, like disappeared. So I would love to see that come back, that universe
Yeah, and
at least.
Square. I still hear rumbles that Square financially is still not doing great, but they've had some big hits though. They've been striking gold with the Switch, but with their retro kind of
Yeah, I
two 3D hybrid thing,
they
whatever you want
they,
to call
they
it.
need to do the Capcom. They really need to
Yes,
do what
yes.
Capcom did, and I think it was you that shared.
Posted, yeah, but the last 10 years have reinvented themselves
Yeah,
on their core series, yeah, and it
and
saved them.
yeah, and like I legitimately think like they need to start to do this. It's like, guys, you don't need to change who you are to evolve. Like I've said this forever. Final Fantasy 16, like there's no reason that game shouldn't have sold millions and millions and millions of copies on the name alone. But here's the problem. You didn't make it a role-playing game.
Yeah, I
You
see.
made it an action game, and that's not evolution. If you want to evolve, why not make it like The Witcher? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
To
Make it an
try
RPG.
something
Yeah.
different. Instead, you released an action game. You released Devil May Cry, and you called it Final Fantasy. And it's like fans like me, like number one, you're lucky I even gave you my time, right? Like number one, I'm a grown adult with a lot of responsibilities and everything like that. But for me, I will always try Final Fantasy, always, because for decades it was a game that I knew would deliver a quality experience, and it did. It did. Final Fantasy 16 is a great, great game. The problem is it's a great action game, and that's not why I buy Final Fantasy
It should
games.
have been a side series like, Dragon Quest
Yeah,
Builders.
exactly.
Well, Builders is an action game too, by the way,
Yeah.
but it has Minecraft.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
saying the
yeah, yeah,
building
yeah.
aspects, but it should have been like a side game, not the mainline series, right?
Well, that
So
exactly.
and I mean, I don't mind them getting away with a turn-based combat. They're kind of with Final Fantasy moved away for a while from
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So, but like you said, make it Witcher, make it still an RPG at its core, and go from there. But yeah, I agree with you. So Square needs to kind of find themselves. Luckily, they're making some good not classic, more your HGD. They seem to be doing pretty good with the paths and other games. But yeah, I agree with you, dude. They need to find themselves and kind of focus, because if they are really having these financial problems, and these games take a lot to develop, like Final Fantasy 16 does, or series, Dragon Quest series probably takes a lot of money too, and who knows when that's going to come out, right? They don't really seem to be talking about the next one, which is kind of concerning. We know it's going to happen, but is it going to be this year? It might not be. It might be next year. We're already in March, guys. It's not like it only got what if they announce it.
Well, if
year,
we don't like during the carnival, right? Like in May, if we don't hear anything,
it's not coming out this year.
No way. And like this year, is it? I always screw this up. Because Dragon Quest X's on a 2-year, was on a 2-year cycle. Now I think because of COVID, it was on a 3-year cycle. So I don't remember if it's this year, because it came. Okay, I always screw this up. Because the version 7, so the 6th expansion came out last year in 2024. This year, I think at some point this year, we should hear about V8 at some point.
Let's hope.
But they're not gonna do a V8 reveal with this reveal with Dragon Quest 12. That is not going to happen. They're not going to do that. They do announcements, because someone could look at me and say, Jared, are you stupid? They literally did that a couple of years ago. Yeah, but that's not what I'm getting at. What I mean is more they're not going to do the full reveals of 3 Dragon Quest games. The last time they gave the teaser for this one, right? They gave a teaser for Dragon Quest 10, and they gave a teaser for Dragon Quest 12, but it was a Omega teaser, and I don't see it. I really don't see it. I think this year, this will be the emphasis, is going to be the remake of 1 and 2, and in Japan we'll start to get drip fed some news on version 8, so the next expansion for Dragon Quest 10. But then where exactly does that leave 12?
No, exactly. Right.
So I don't know. I
100%.
really no idea.
And other news, we're going to talk quick thing and wrap it up, guys, because we're coming almost to an hour. I know we got that comment saying how Timothy really loves Dead by Daylight, which is true. Dead by Daylight did announce a new chapter, which I want to ask you, because you're an anime fan. Have you ever played Tokyo Ghoul? Watch Tokyo Ghoul. It's a popular manga kind of anime. No? Okay. No. It was popular a few years back.
Dude, I haven't watched anime, man, in 15 years or something.
Oh, okay. You used to be a big fan, so I thought.
Yeah. Dude,
so
life took over, man.
The Ghoul is coming to Dead by Daylight on April 2nd, so in about 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks.
Yep.
So, yeah, give or take, almost 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. His first name's Ken. His last name is Kankia. I'm butchering it, but anyways, the Ghoul is coming to Dead by Daylight, which is interesting because in the anime, this character is not evil, but in Dead by Daylight, I guess he gets possessed by the entity, so he's the new killer. Standalone chapter with only the killer. Yeah, so it's interesting because I've already seen gameplay, very animated, kind of inspired, and it's kind of interesting. So people are like, oh no, why are you bringing animated Dead by Daylight? It doesn't fit. I think it's going to be fine, and this is a popular series, so it'll definitely bring some hype. And then also, we're gonna that's enough for that. So we're gonna go also Warhammer 40,000, which has been a big hit. Space Marine 2, they announced. Space Marine 3 has been announced. So we don't know any other info other than there's going to be a third game in the series, which was kind of fast because the last one, Space Marine 2, it was a pretty big hit. So kind of it looks like they're capitalizing on that, Jared. And then the Silent Hill F, which you posted on Discord.
Looks sick, man.
All right, yeah, and it's on Xbox, guys. It's gonna be on Xbox, Windows, and stuff like that. So that's gonna be really, really good. It's not gonna be exclusive to what's it called, Sony or anything like that. And then more bad news for the industry. Another Star Wars Hunters, which is on the Switch. I wish I actually have it. It's a free-to-play hero shooter and mobile game, which is cross-play. You can play with each other. It's being shut down in April this year, so just over a year, and they just weren't able to make money. So that's unfortunate for them. And and one more bit of Star Wars news is Star Wars, the Knights of the Old Republic remake. The developer insists everything we have talked about is still in development. So that was announced a couple of years now, Jared, and I haven't seen anything.
Sure, it is. Sure.
When a developer says, "Hey, I kind of have to agree with you that it might not be any come to fruit of labors, etc." And Control 2 was announced. So any of you Control fans, I think you guys might like that. And there's a lot more other news, but guys, we're at an hour. We don't want to keep going. We need to do some podcasts, Jared, where we cut like the Xbox just announced a bunch of games are coming this month for Game Pass. We need to try to get that kind of info because it'd be kind of cool. I don't know how many of our viewers like these type of games, but
if they join our Discord, you do a good job of posting all that.
Tons. And we have the link on the main YouTube channel, but Jared could probably put a link.
No, I put it in every one
you do. So appreciate that. So come on by. We actually have D&D sessions every week, and tonight we're having Tales of Fablecraft sessions. So we do a bunch of stuff. Not saying some gaming sessions like a bunch of ASIM stuff like Killer Clowns and Ghostbusters, etc. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up, guys. We're at the hour mark.
So take care, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yep. Take care.